Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Today is August 21st, 2023. We'll call this meeting order at 7:32 p.m. Can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin is absent. Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Navas Barza? Here. Trustee Peretta?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with our officer reports, starting with mine. A couple of things that were not on your agenda this evening. Certainly, due to the extreme weather that we're anticipating this week, we will put notices out tomorrow on social media and our village website. We always make the village boardroom here available for our residents as a cooling center from 8 in the morning till 4 p.m. Nobody's really ever taken advantage of that, but certainly we'll make that available in case anybody is struggling with no air conditioning in their house because of the inclement weather. The second thing I had was that we did get a call last week. I don't want to use the restaurant's name, but that we did get a request from a restaurant requesting the board to consider amending their basically our ordinance that allows for serving liquor for people 18 years and up, from 18 to 21. Right now, our ordinance says you have to be 21 years or older. I put something in everybody's mailbox tonight just for conversation. We're not voting on anything right now, but just briefly go through this. My assistant, Becky, put this packet together, and certainly what you're seeing on the first page, trustees, in the packet that I gave you was our ordinance that clearly it says no person shall sell, give, or deliver alcoholic liquor to a person under the age of 21 years old. And then E says it shall be unlawful for any person to employ or permit the employment of a person under the age of 21 where alcoholic liquor is consumed if their employment involves the sale, acceptance, of money, so forth. And what we're hearing is, like many things we talked about in our committee meeting even earlier, on the second page it shows in 2017, the city of Chicago actually adopted this same, they amended their ordinance. And employees, what they're saying now is employees 18 and older working in grocery stores and restaurants in Chicago will now be able to serve and sell alcohol. Their city council voted to allow that, and on the second page is their ordinance that says a person under 21 years of age may be employed or permitted to work as a host or hostess or a receptionist in a restaurant. If the licensed premises is a restaurant, an employee who is licensed, who of the licensee is 1, at least 18 years of age, 2, obtained and completed training in basic responsible alcohol service as outlined in the rules promulgated by the Illinois State Liquor Commission, may serve alcoholic liquor that's been prepared or mixed, obviously poured by somebody 21 years or older. And it shall not be available to taverns and whatnot. This is actually just for restaurants. And the village of Joliet adopted the same. They've got that. And then Niles had something similar. And then Becky put in here too just some other information. So I'm not looking for any kind of a vote on this evening. I just wanted to start the conversation because, like I said, we well, I didn't say yet, but we don't meet again until like September, like 7th, something like that is when we come back again. So it's going to be a few weeks before we can follow up on this. I just didn't want to wait, 3+ weeks to have this conversation because these places are struggling to find help, waiters and waitresses to help out in their restaurants. And I'd like the board to consider modifying the age of the people who just serve it, not pour it, but just serve it. Was there any questions on that at this time? None? Okay. Anybody has any, please get back to my office. First on the agenda this evening was the approval to authorize the law firm of Odelson, Murphy, Frazier, and McGrath to intervene in a PTAB contested by the owners of the property at 13055 South Pulaski. It was confirmed with me by their office that as they in 2021, the settlement value is the same as 2020, and the elementary and high school districts previously authorized Odelson and Murphy and so forth to intervene in this case, and this would have been like an offset, like they're saying if the appellant was successful for the 21, the village would stand to lose approximately $13,000, but with the settlement, the village would lose, if the village stood alone, it would lose that much, but because we share those costs with the District 130 and District 218 schools, it would be an adjustment of approximately $6,000. And to challenge that would be possibly even be more money than that. So they were recommending a settlement in addition to School District 130 and 218 schools. They authorized this law firm to negotiate a settlement in the 2022 case. And they're in discussions with them now, and she's going to let us know if there's anything further. But that's all they're doing, is they're just intervening at this time, and we'll find out what the settlement would be at another date. And then what else I have? Second, number 2 was a request for consensus regarding the need to increase distance for employee residency. We had a discussion earlier in a committee meeting, and there's no need to discuss this. That was just, we were asking for consensus. That was not on the consent agenda, so I'm going to remove that. We'll take no action on that at this time. The third item on here was the approval to create a new classification of liquor license, otherwise known as a Class S license, which is a supermarket grocery store license. We previously had conversations with a vendor regarding food for less, and I felt rather than focusing on one establishment, what's good for one establishment should be good for all. And I took that ordinance, here it is, I put this in hard copy in everybody's box. I took this actually from what is being used in the village of Oak Lawn for the Mariano store at that location. And just to review with everybody, a Class S license shall authorize the retail sale on specified premises of alcoholic liquor in its original package as part of a grocery store that's engaged principally in the sale of canned goods, dry goods such as tea, sugar, flour, and cereals, and the alike, fresh fruits, veggies, fresh and prepared meats, fish and poultry, and typical household goods, but not including any establishment commonly understood to be a drugstore or food pantry or convenience food mart, and shall authorize the retail sale on the specified premises of alcoholic liquor for limited consumption only within a designated seating area or cafe, subject to the following conditions. A portion of the premises devoted to package sales for limited consumption on the premises in a designated seating area or cafe shall be no larger than 20% of the gross above grade square footage. And actually, Trustee Dalzell reminded me, Rick, you said we were at 10% before?
Correct.
Okay, and we can certainly amend that on its face.
Well, what you have to consider is that right now, the way that this is set up is package sales and for limited consumption on premises for the cafe.
What our ordinance says, correct. I missed that when I was drawing this up. Second was the consumption on premises shall be of individual servings of alcoholic liquor and limited to a designated seating or cafe area. The consumption of packaged sale goods shall not be permitted within the designated seating or cafe area. C, tastings shall be permitted on the premises in accordance with state law. D, it is intended that the service of alcoholic liquor is merely an adjunct to the operation of a supermarket grocery store and that the facility shall not be advertised or otherwise held out to be a drinking establishment. E, no alcoholic liquor should be sold or given away for sale about the specified premises. So in other words, with this designated hours between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m. during the week, or 2 a.m. and 11 a.m. on the weekends. And then finally, letter G was video gaming as defined under Illinois Video Gaming Act, and it cites the Illinois compiled statute, shall be allowed in a separate room from the store proper and include a Bassett certified attendant dedicated to monitor and service the dedicated seating or cafe area. And then finally, the annual fee for such license set in our ordinance shall be at a cost of $7,500, which is what we charge for an FG license right now as well. FG license. So again, my office took this example to make it fair for all grocery stores, should they wish to have tastings in their stores. And certainly if they wanted to have gaming, it would be in a separate area, as I described in here as well then too. But this was basically taken from the Village of Oak Lawn, and this is what they use in relation to the Mariano's store.
Just one comment, is Mariano's, do they currently have video gaming on premise at the Oak Lawn location? And so why I ask is because the setup and the concept of Mariano's is structured somewhat as an eatery. And whereas this ask here for our village is a pathway for another use. Mm-hmm. And, which if it's not apparent, I strongly oppose. And again, Mariano's is a grocery store, but it is structured differently, whereas this ask is for another intended use. And I know, let's see here, I received an email from Mr. McAplin, if I pronounced it correctly, and he did provide numbers of other municipalities that have video gaming. So I did look up the population of each that was provided: Crestwood, Chicago Ridge, Oak Lawn, Midlothian, Evergreen Park, and Alsip. So the municipality that is closest in population to us is Evergreen Park at 19,943 per the U.S. Census count in 2020. Alsip in 2020 had 19,063 people. Evergreen Park only has 8, based on the information that was provided to me via the email, has 8 video gaming terminals or facilities, and Alsip, per the conversations that we had previously, had 26 or 31, as the mayor pointed out last time. So the question that I asked is, at what number is it enough?
Right now you have 26 establishments.
26.
Right now. Yeah.
And then also I understand that there's the concern with revenues and so forth, but again, what are we calling economic development? And also taking into consideration quality of life factors for our community as well. What is the impact of this in regards to jobs, quality of jobs? Whereas a restaurant, if you do allow, let's say, video gaming there, a restaurant might employ, 10 to 20, 30 people, depending on the size and so forth like that. So again, I would be opposed to this type of license at this time if it's a pathway to another use to be on site.
Well, actually Oak Lawn does make the provision in their ordinance. This was their language regarding the video gaming, so they can have that if their store if they wish. Oak Lawn also, which none of obviously, Mariano's sees the need for their model to, and I don't want to speak for them, but certainly they've got an in-house lounge at their place and stuff on too, which not many stores have. Is they have that provision to have a lounge serving alcoholic liquor in there, and sometimes they even have a band there and stuff then too. This is what they feel that they need to be successful or competitive. And as we talked about before, I'm not in the grocery business, but this particular ordinance doesn't speak to just one store. It speaks to all stores and stuff then too. If they feel they need this type of competitive edge to be that competitive with the other stores in the area, or to bring more customers to their store, I don't know why we would think we know more about their business if we don't, that kind of thing. And like I said, this provision for the gaming is available to them should they decide to take advantage of that yet too.
I understand that, but we also, as a board, can make decisions as well to impact, and also based on what residents also are sharing of what type of development they would like to see come into our village. And again, is that kind of what we're targeting? And also, what I understand, a grocery store exists to sell goods and dry goods, fresh produce, and so forth. So kind of how you're framing it is that if this doesn't exist for the grocery store, then people won't come to the grocery store to buy groceries?
I'm just saying, if a major corporation, like the one that addressed this already, if a major corporation felt that's what they needed to be successful, that's on their behalf. They've already got a liquor license. All we're doing is making it applicable for poured service there, and all that poured service would be.
Their
is
liquor
it's included
license isn't consumption, though, it's
Pardon me?
package.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They need a new license for it.
Right.
But if, in other words, let's say right now we've got a new restaurant. In fact, they just painted the inside of the new Firewater. While he didn't express having a need for gaming at his place, if he decided to do it, there's not much we could say about it. He could certainly have that tomorrow. Why would it be okay for him to have gaming and not the store? If the store felt that that's what they wanted to have more of a competitive edge on their competition.
Well, I mean, also, like, as an elected member on the board, and residents, voicing their concerns and so forth, and, I understand, and I feel the same way.
I just want to make it fair to everybody. That's why I didn't want to sink in on just one applicant, and I want to make it fair for everybody if that's what they want to do. Any other questions on that, board? Okay. That's all I have for this evening. We'll go on to the clerk's report. Clerk Hardy?
Thank you, Mayor. I have the approval of the August 7th, 2023 board meeting minutes, the approval of the July 2023 IDOT motor fuel allotment in the amount of $68,030.72, and the presentation and approval of the August 14th, 2023 committee meeting minutes. And that is all I had, Mayor.
Thank you. We have the attorney's report. We have Mike Hanker with us. Mike?
sir.
Okay. Engineer's report, Jeff Hagan?
Thank you, Mayor. The water main project's 115th and 118th place. The directional drilled installation is complete. They're working on the open cut portions and looking to get that wrapped up. Hopefully by the end of next week, they can be testing and then start working on services the following week. The contractor is not working on Thursday because of the weather. The 2023 Rebuild Illinois resurfacing project, that has wrapped up, so we're working on final paperwork now for that. We have a pre-construction meeting scheduled for tomorrow for the 2023 roadway maintenance project. We're working with deconstruction on that project. We'll have a pre-construction meeting, and hopefully probably within the next week or so we'll start mobilizing and milling streets and whatnot.
Jeff, is that going to include the Lombard and Cadvale streets?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. How are we doing? Mike told me I wanted to look at the engineering on that because I was told a long time ago, Mike kind of said, or Mike Frater said, he felt that the drain sewers might have been under-engineered because we get a lot of volume of water and a lot of standing water there. Are we going to look at maybe put some bigger drain in there?
Not as part of this project. Mike and I have been talking over the last few months about that. His crews have been doing some investigating out there as well and trying to locate and figure out, blockages and the discharge point back behind the railroad track. So him and I are supposed to get together one day within the next week or so and take a look at the findings that he's found back there.
All right, because certainly I don't want to put down a new rug and have to take it up because we got to fix the pipes again too. Do you have have you looked at the drain system? What do you think about those?
Yeah, well, it sounds, from the way it's been described to me, it sounds consistent with some type of blockage with the outlet.
Okay. Could you please keep me in the loop on that? I remember a couple of years ago, we opened up some swales that did a lot of benefit over just west of there yet too. I remember when they opened up one of them, that was terrible actually. When it was nice to see the relief, all the water coming through, but apparently it had never been done before and stuff then too. So I'd like to see if that's still the case, like you said, if there's an obstruction holding us up, that's why we're retaining water.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So the nature, it's a resurfacing project, and the storm sewer and whatnot that's out there. probably not, designed by current standards necessarily, but that this blockage seems to be a main concern, what Mike was indicating.
Okay. And then, Jeff, I'm waiting on paperwork. I was telling the board in a committee meeting earlier, just briefly, but with that ADA DECO grant that we were talking about, I haven't got hard paper on that yet, just a phone call. When do you think we'd see that coming through?
Correct. So I've talked to Mike about that as well, and we're trying to figure out how to apply that. So Mike had mentioned that there's a joint bid that had been done through the SSMMA for sidewalk replacement, and we've done some investigating, and it sounds like through the DCEO we can use the funds to put towards that project. So Mike was getting the list put together to submit to have that work performed.
Okay. So we did, in one of our last meetings, too, we did approve that intergovernmental agreement that we talked about for trying to, village-wide sidewalk study.
Correct.
When are we going to tee off on that? When are we going to start that?
So that's through CMAP. They are working on selecting their consultant for that, and then within the next few months, they'll get going on that. We'll start having some public meetings and things of that sort as well.
Okay.
Yep.
No, I appreciate all the work that you're doing and stuff, Jeff. There's a lot going through here right now, then, too. Unfortunately, we've been blessed to get some more grant money and stuff, then, too.
Yep.
Like we were talking, that's a good thing when, two of them respond at the same time with their approvals yet, too, so it's good.
Correct. Yep, including that Lombard area as well.
Exactly. There's a lot of heavy trucks back there, and they really tear those roads up and stuff then, too. And obviously, there's many roads we can look at, but they need to be addressed, that's for sure.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And then we also have a bid opening next Monday for the crack sealing as well.
Okay. Where are we doing that at?
We're doing that Laramie between 117th, 119th, Tripp, Prairie Drive, Tremundy, Kildare, that area.
Okay.
And then Austin and Menard from Kalsag Road to 127th in those areas.
Okay, good. Okay. Anything else, Jeff?
That's all.
Great, thanks. Public forum, anybody in the audience wish to address the board this evening? Nobody? Then we'll move on to our standing committee reports. We'll start with Finance and IT Committee.
The approval list of payroll dated August 11th, 2023, in the amount of $471,351.82. The approval list of accounts payable dated August 21st, 2023, from the recap: General Fund, $203,685.34. Road and Bridge, $24,661.51. Storm Sewer, $1,630.55. Motor fuel tax, $4,130.47. The Pulaski TIF, $138. Liability and workman comp insurance, $41,037. Health insurance, $264,010.26. Water and sewer, $537,081.42. Sanitary sewer, $3,839.44. Heritage 1 and 2, $62,086.62. The IPRF grant expense, $24,217.20. The retiree health insurance, $48,494.69. Total of all funds, $1,215,012.50. That's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you. We'll go to our Fire Committee report. Trustee Murphy?
I have approval to send out an RFP, request for proposal, for the overhead light replacement in the apparatus bays in both stations. This has been budgeted for, and the project would have an estimated start date of late October and early November. I also have the presentation and approval of the July 2023 Fire Prevention Bureau Monthly Activity Report. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Do we have a copy of that RFP?
I haven't generated it yet, no. I'm just getting approval so I can actually put one together.
Okay. Because I'd like to see that before it goes out, please.
Yeah, that's fine.
I agree, Chief. I was looking for the same thing. I didn't see it in the packet. Okay.
And I'm just getting approval so I can create one.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next, we'll go to the Police and Traffic Safety. Trustee Dalzell.
Nothing for this evening's meeting, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Work and Boat Launch Committee.
I have the approval of the Public Works July 2023 Monthly Activity Report, and that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. We'll go to the sewer and water report. Trustee Navas Esparza.
Thank you. I have a request for approval to have Robinson Engineering develop a 5-year water main replacement project plan to be submitted to the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency for state revolving fund loan approval at a cost not to exceed $28,500. And I also have requests for approval of MetroCloud SCADA upgrade to be provided by Metropolitan Industries at a cost not to exceed $54,435. And that's all I have there.
All right, thank you. One second, let me just make a note on something. Thank you. Next, we'll go to the Building and Health Report. Trustee Parada.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a request for an approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 6, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 5, Permit, Inspection, Occupancy, and Engineering Fees, Section 6-91, Commercial and/or Industrial Building Permit Fees of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Human Resource and Insurance. Trustee Murphy.
No report tonight, Mayor.
Okay. We'll go to our special committee reports, starting with Economic Development. Trustee Navas Esparza.
No report, but just requesting an update on the status of Firewater's development project. If not tonight, for the next meeting that we have.
They're moving along pretty well. They just painted the inside of the place. They're doing the kitchen right now. What else is up with them, Rich?
They were out painting. I will reach out to Matt tomorrow and find out when his updated schedule for opening is. Originally said August 15th. I sent him a text that said August 15th. What's the new one? So hopefully I will have that for you guys next week.
All right, thank you.
I don't know if it's going to change anything, but they just had a fire in a restaurant in Geneva yesterday.
I did hear that.
That's too bad.
Is that a new facility that they?
It's been there for several years now.
Everything that Firewater did, it's a lot of turnkey. This is the first one he's bringing out of the ground. That's why it's been taking so long.
I just asked because TVK is cranking away. And it seems like they'll be open pretty soon.
They're shooting for November 1st.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the Village Property Report Committee. I'm not sure who's on that.
Trustee Navas Esparza.
No report.
Okay. Ordinance, thank you. Ordinance and legislation. Trustee Parada.
Thank you, Mayor. No report this evening.
All right. Planning and Zoning and Licenses Committee.
Trustee Navas Esparza.
Approval list of licenses dated August 7th, 2023 through August 11th, 2023. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Did anybody have any presentations or petitions or communications they wanted to share? And one thing I wanted to just bring up real quick, just as a note, I want to thank Water Commissioner Dan Treiben. Dan, last Friday, unfortunately, some resident chained a dog to the fence at the pump station. Dan did a nice job of finding resources for somebody to come get the dog. There's a lot of red tape lately with dogs, and it's amazing how even the what you call it, these rescue places won't even take them like anymore and stuff. And there's so much red tape involved. I met with Chief Miller this morning, and we did get an application for one of these paws places that to get registered with and so forth. But it was just, and Danny, I appreciate what you were doing, you know, trying to help that dog out and stuff then too. But we did find some resources for it late in the day, and finally got that taken care of. So thanks, Dan, for doing that. Next, we just had, did anyone wish to remove anything from the consent agenda?
Item B. B as in boy.
Boy? Okay.
Actually, can we do a motion to table that? Trustee isn't here, we're lost 20% of our board, so.
I suppose, yeah, we can bring that back up at the next meeting. You want, yeah, because we meet again as a board. When is that?
September 5th.
The 5th,
Tuesday.
September 5. It's up to the board if that's what you'd like to do.
You need a second? Second.
Yeah, I motion to table it.
Okay.
Second.
Why don't you go ahead and take the roll for that first, then, Madam Clerk, at the table B.
Okay, roll call number 1 to table item B until the board meeting on September 5th. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin is absent. Trustee Murphy?
No.
Trustee Navas Esparza?
Yes.
Trustee Peretta?
No.
Mayor Ryan?
I'm going to go with, yes, I'll allow the trustee to weigh in on that.
Okay, so motion carries to table item B until September 5th's board meeting.
Okay, so did I get a motion to, I'm sorry, can I get a motion to establish the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 2 to establish consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin is absent. Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navas Esparza?
Yes.
Trustee Peretta?
Yes.
Motion carries to establish consent agenda.
Thank you. Then can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, item K, approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 6 Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 5, Permit, Inspection, and Occupancy and Engineering Fees, Section 6-91, Commercial and/or Industrial Building Permit Fees of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip will now be known as Ordinance 2023-08-2. Roll call number 3 to approve consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin is absent. Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navas Esparza?
Yes.
Trustee Peretta?
Yes.
Motion carries to approve consent agenda.
Very good. Did anyone have, oh, I'm sorry, we already took care of B. Can I get does anyone have any unfinished business they want to discuss? Any new business? None? Can I get a motion then to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll adjourn this meeting then at 8:05 p.m. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, folks. Enjoy the rest of your night.